Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for this segment, we have Kevin Kelly, founder and CEO of Kelly ETFs, to discuss the launch of the Kelly Crispr and gene editing technology ETF listed on Nasdaq, ticker XDNA. Kevin, it's great to see you again. Welcome back to Trade Talks.
Thanks for having me.
All right, you got it. And let's talk about CRISPR technology in general. What is it designed to do?
Yeah, so CRISPR is a relatively new technology, medical technology that actually goes into the body with a pair of biological scissors and edits our own DNA. And so it can cut out bad DNA and replace it with good DNA to treat really rare diseases and really help out on diseases that we've been afflicted in. And if we go back to last summer, it was pretty interesting because we actually got the first real delivery within the body that got announced. And so, a bunch of the space has been now pretty prolific in coming out with new trials. And so we're pretty excited about what the technology can do in editing the DNA.
What are the subsectors XDNA invests in, and what is the methodology behind the fund?
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting when you think about how this is a nascent technology, and it's really going to rely on a bunch of other partners within the medical and healthcare space. And so the fund really comprises of 70% of these actual novel technologies that are going to try to be commercialized over the next 18 to 36 months. So what you have is you've got 70% in the actual XDNA technology companies that edit our own DNAs. And then you have about 15% is actually with clinical partners that actually go out and have the expertise to help commercialize these drugs and therapeutics. And then the other 15% is actually next generation sequencing companies. So it helps out the technology companies map the DNA to do targeted approaches.
2021 ended up on a down note for publicly traded gene editing companies, but at JP Morgan's virtual healthcare conference recently, gene editing firms are saying that this year will bring exciting developments. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, what's really nice is that coming out of the conference, we actually saw that there's over the next 18 to 36 months, there's going to be a lot of new data coming out revolving around CRISPR and gene editing. And more specifically, you have companies that are coming out over the next several quarters in follow-up to their trials that worked out last year. So what came out is that big pharma companies are also wanting to partner with these CRISPR and gene editing companies. So you had Bayer do a giant deal with a small startup company. And so that was pretty telling. And then you also had Pfizer do a deal with Beam Therapeutics, $1.4 billion deal to do 3 drugs. So that's pretty telling that big pharma is trying to come in and gain access to this nascent technology that could disrupt healthcare going over the next 10, 20, 30 years, because we're really at the beginning of S-curve of growth for it. CRISPR really got founded and developed starting 10 years ago. And so we're starting to see the last 10 years built up for the next 10 years.
And finally, Kevin, how would XDNA fit in an investor portfolio?
Yeah, so XDNA is a great complement to healthcare stocks or healthcare ETFs that people already own. So it's a great way to get access to this type of new and emerging technology within the healthcare space that people don't actually have in their portfolios yet. So it has very minimal overlap with traditional healthcare indices or healthcare sector products. So it's a great complement to put in as a satellite to your healthcare portfolio.
All right, Kevin, appreciate the insight as always. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq.